Jai Shri Guru Granagandhari Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Jugi Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Jugi Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnuvad Ashata Rashata Shishmat Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnuvad Ashata Rashata Shishmat Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnuvad Ashata Rashata Shishmat Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnuvad Ashata Rashata Shishmat Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnuvad Ashata Rashata Shishmat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha-bhagavat Srila Gokshara Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannātha Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nupari Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Chitta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadasa Gunath Sharada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Prasad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Kormandala Bhajamandala Mathura Vrindala Nidam Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Padatta Ki Raj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Mana Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Mai Ki Jai. Oops, I forgot my mic was all over there. You probably couldn't even hear me. Shri Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Chaturmasya Vrat Ki Jai. Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hari Bol, Raseshwari Mataji. Wait, what am I saying? I mean, Satya Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nuri Hari Prabhu, Yashoda Didi. Let's see, maybe Raseshwari Mataji is there. I don't know, not yet, maybe. And the other people who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, I can't see your names because you have to write a comment for me to see that. Hare Krishna Shubhananda Prabhu. Alright, so let's sing a kirtan for Mahaprabhu. Let's find one. If anybody has any requests, let me know what it is. Where is it? I opened up the file, I thought. There it is. All right. So there is. We haven't done Gora Pahuna Bhajiyamainu. That might be nice. Or maybe Dhanamor Nityananda. No. Let's do that. Gora Pahuna Bhajiyamainu. Oh wait, I'm looking at the chat. Oh, Dandavat pranams. Okay. Okay, I'm just getting my mridanga. 1 second. Agora pahu na bhaji amainu Agora pahu na bhaji amainu Premara tana dana helaya haraino Premara tana dana helaya haraino Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Adhane jatana kori dhanate agino Adhane jatana kori dhanate agino Apana karama doshe apane dubino Apana karama doshe apane dubino Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Satsanga chhadi koino asate vilasa Satsanga chhadi koino yasate vilasa Te karane lagilo je karma bandha fasa Te karane lagilo je karma bandha fasa Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Vishaya vishama Visha satata khaino Vishaya vishama Vish satata khaino Agora kirtana rase Magana na hoino Agora kirtana rase Magana na hoino Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Gaurapaho Na bhaji amaino Keno va achaye prana ki sukha paiya Keno va achaye prana ki sukha paiya Narottama dasa keno nagelo Maria Narottama dasa keno nagelo Maria na bhajiya maino gora pahu na bhajiya maino gora pahu na bhajiya maino prema ratana dana helaya haraino prema ratana dana helaya haraino na bhajiya maino gora pahu na bhajiya maino gora pahu na bhajiya maino Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Jai Sakshinandan Gaura Hari Sakshinandan Jai Gaura Hari Jai Sakshinandan Gaura Hari Sakshinandan Jai Gaura Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Bol Hari Bol Nitai Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Jai Shri Sakshinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. I didn't read the translation, let me do that now. By not worshipping my Lord Gaurasundar, I have invited death, and by neglecting the precious jewel of Prem, I have lost it. Attending to worthless trifles, I have thrown away my real wealth. I have drowned myself in my misdeeds. Forsaking the association of devotees, I have sported with non-devotees. For this reason, I am being choked by the snare of my actions. I have constantly drunk the deadly poison of material sense enjoyment, and thus I have not become absorbed in the nectarian mellows, the ras of Gaur Kirtan. For what happiness does this life continue? Why doesn't Narottam Das simply die? This kirtan by Srila Narottam Das Thakur is in the section of the song book called Akshepa, which means regret. Okay, so now we will Haribol Sudevi Didi. Now we will go through the Mangala Charan and then begin our reading. Let me just, where is it? Mangala Charan. Ajnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya-taksho Vishwambharo dvijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannātha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sadishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tekshana Parajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahudha Bhakti Rasabhinartaka Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishvesha Murte Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyanam Adya Shri Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhar Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakamaaditaranga Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. All right. So, the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi-lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Oh fools, ore muralok. Ore muralok shuno Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshaka. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Veda Vyas. Chaitanya Lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das. Vrindavan das koilo Chaitanya Mangal, jahan rashavane nashe sarvaya Mangal. Chaitanya nitar jate janiye mahima, jate jane Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima. Bhagavate jata bhakti siddhanter sar, lekhiyachen iha jani koriya udar. Chaitanya Mangala shune jadi pashanti javan, seho maha Vaishnava hoy tatakhan. Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya, Vrindavana dasa mukhe vakta Śrī Caitanya. Vrindavana dasa pore koti namaskar, aiche granta korite ho tarila sansar. Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan, तार गर्वे जन्मिला श्री दास वृंदावन. तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन, जहाँ रसवाने शुद्ध कोइलो त्रिभुवन. सहज विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार, वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर द्वार. Vrindavan dasa mukhe amriter dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Alright, so we are on chapter 8. Let me just open that up. There we are. The disappearance of Jagannātha Miśra. Oops, let me take. Alright, and also, just letting you know, actually, I don't need to say anything. Since I started out this, but, in the previous program, I was falling asleep so heavily, it was ridiculous. I was doing the Jai Dwani, and in the middle of the Jai Dwani, I don't know how long I stopped for, but I woke up, and I was like, what did I just do? I was completely, it was really bad, because I stayed up pretty late last night, or early this morning, but I took a power nap afterwards, just a 5-minute power nap, and I'm not feeling so bad anymore. So anyways, if sleep starts coming again though, I'll just walk back and forth and read. That seems to work the best. So, okay. Alright, so let's start. Since usually there's a lot more people watching by now on YouTube and Facebook. Anyhow, okay, I'm sharing the screen. I wonder if it went live on YouTube. Okay, it looks like it is live on YouTube. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just going to read through, I think we only read 30-something verses, so I'll just read the translations to those verses, and then we can begin where we left off. Continue where we left off. And I hope you all had a wonderful Purushottam Vrat. Yesterday was the last day. Julan Yatra starts in only 10 days from now. And then Rupa Goswami's in 11 days. Baladev Purnima's in 2 weeks, 14 days from now. And Krishna Janmashtami is in 21 days from now. And Srila Prabhupada's appearance day and Nandotsav, that's in 22 days from now. Don't know why I mentioned that, but just okay. 1 second before I start, I just want to take a quick look at. Okay, we read up to 36. Great. Okay. All glories to Śrī Gaurasundar, the ocean of mercy. All glories to the moon-like Lord in the house of Śrī Shachi and Jagannāth. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda Swarup. All glories to the inaugurator of the congregational chanting of the holy names. All glories to Śrī Gauranga along with his devotees and associates. By hearing the topics of Lord Chaitanya, one attains the devotional service of the Lord. In this way, as the Supreme Lord confidentially resided in the house of Jagannātha Miśra, no one was able to recognize him. The Lord enjoyed every variety of childhood sports found in the world. Who can describe them all? These pastimes will later be described through the Vedas and all the Puranas, and fortunate souls will hear about them. As Śrī Gaurasundar remains fully absorbed in his childhood pastimes, the time came for his accepting a Brahman thread. And we read this verse. It says, in the Vedas, it says that Ashta Varsham Brahmanam Upanayita. When the son of a Brahman becomes 8 years old, he should be awarded the sacred thread. So I wonder if Nimāi is 8 years old here. I don't know. Okay. For the sacred thread ceremony of his son, Jagannātha Miśra invited all of his friends and relatives. He invited all of his friends and relatives to his house. Everyone happily gathered there and assisted in various ways according to their ability. The women chanted Krishna's glories, and the musicians played mridanga, shanai, and flute. The Brahmanas recited the Vedas, and the professional blessers chanted prayers. Thus, Shachi Devi's house appeared as the incarnation of ecstasy, Ananda Avatar. As Śrī Gaurasundar accepted the Brahman thread, all auspicious planetary conjunctions fell on the house of Shachi. The month, day, and moment were all auspicious as Śrī Gaurhari accepted the Brahman thread. The enchanting thread beautified the body of the Lord, as if Ananta Shesh surrounded his body in a subtle form. Everyone was most pleased to hear how Lord Gaurachandra resembled Vamandev. Did I say, yeah, everybody is most pleased to see how, resembled Vamandev. On seeing his wonderful Brahman effulgence, no one considered him an ordinary child. Then, with a stick in his hand and a bag on his shoulder, Śrī Gaurasundar went to beg alms at the houses of his devotees. Everyone gave in satisfaction according to their ability. All the women smiled as they put their alms in the Lord's bag. Yeah, and it's the first thing, he's supposed to go to his mothers, right? And then beg Diksha from them first, and then he goes to everybody else. I remember when I got Diksha also, you have to first go to your mother. Say, Bhavam Bhiksham Dehi. Bhavatu Bhiksham Dehi. Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, something like that. Yeah, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. The chaste wives of Brahma, Shiva, and various great sages all took the form of Brahman's wives. They felt great satisfaction seeing Vishwambar's Vaman form and smiled as they placed alms in the Lord's bag. The Lord also enjoyed his Vamana pastimes, which were enacted for the deliverance of the conditioned souls. All glories to Śrī Gaurachandra, who accepted the form of Lord Vaman. Please donate your lotus feet in charity to my heart. Whoever hears the topics of the Lord accepting a Brahman thread certainly attains the shelter of Śrī Chaitanya's lotus feet. Oh, it's Bhavani Bhiksham Dehi. Oops. So when you go to beg alms, you go to ladies, you say Bhavani Bhiksham Dehi, and then it's Bhavam Bhiksham Dehi. Okay. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha enjoyed in the house of Shachi various pastimes that are unknown to the Vedas. After properly understanding the meanings of the scriptures at home, the Lord desired to study in the company of his associates. In Navadvip, there resided the topmost teacher, Gangadas Pandit, who was none different from Sandipani Muni. He was in full knowledge of the grammatical literatures, so the Lord desired to study under him. Understanding the desire of his son, Jagannātha Miśra took him to the house of the Brahmin Gangadas. Finally, Gaurasundar Nimāi gets to go to school again. When they arrived, Gangadas stood up out of respect and embraced Śrī Miśra. They then sat together on an asan. Jagannātha Miśra said, "I am offering you my son. Please teach him everything." Gangadas replied, "It is my great fortune. I will teach him to the best of my ability." Gangadas was most happy to see his new student, and he treated him like his own son. After hearing only once, the Lord would assimilate whatever Gangadas Pandit explained. He would refute the explanations of his guru, and then establish the explanation that he had just refuted. There were thousands of students, but no one had the ability to defeat his explanations. Gangadas was pleased to see Nimai's wonderful intelligence, and he accepted him as his best student. Sarva Shishya Shreshta Kori, Kori la Pujita. So it shouldn't be he accepted him as his best student, he honored him as his best student, right? I think so. Okay. Now, verse 37. Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 8. 37. But before I begin, I'm just looking. I wonder where is Indira Mataji there and Narseshwari Mataji? Usually they're always here at this time. Okay. Jato pore Gangadas Panditer Sthane Sabare Thakura Chalen Anukhane. The Lord would regularly challenge and defeat all of Gangadas Pandit's other students. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. The word chalen means to induce, to move, to shake, to bewilder, to defeat, or to refute. Shri Murari Gupta Shri Kamala Kantanam Krishnananda Adi Jata Goshtir Pradhan. Shri Murari Gupta, Shri Kamala Kanta, and Shri Krishnananda were some of the Lord's prominent classmates. Never heard about Krishnananda before. Okay, Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Murari Gupta is the composer of the Sanskrit book Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. He was born in Srihatta in the family of a doctor, and later he came to reside in Navadvip, where he became a student of Gangadas Pandit. See Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 8. That's what we're reading right now. Okay. Nimai's debate with the elder Murari is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 10. So it's 2 chapters away. And Murari's happiness upon seeing the Lord's devotional symptoms born from feelings of separation from Krishna after his return from Gaya are described in the Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 1. The Lord's manifestation of his Varaha form at Murari's house Yeah, so the Lord's manifestation of his Varaha form at Murari's house is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 3. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 17, after hearing, it says my connection's unstable. Anyways, what to do? After hearing Gaur and Nityananda glorify each other, Murari smiles and jokes. See Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 4. Murari's taking part in the Lord's kirtans at the house of Srivas is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 8. At the time of the Lord's Mahaprakash, Murari lost consciousness and later cried in love and offered prayers to the Lord. The Lord responded by glorifying his servant Murari. See Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 10. Murari's participation in water sports with the other devotees is found in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 13. On the night the Lord danced in the dress of Mahalakshmi, Haridas and Murari, dressed as constables, introduced the Lord's drama. See Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 18. One day at the house of Srivas Pandit, Murari Gupta saw Gaur and Nityananda seated together. Murari first offered obeisances to Gaur and then to Nityananda. The Lord, however, was displeased and said to Murari, "You have transgressed etiquette while offering obeisances." That very night, in a dream, the Lord taught Murari the glories of Nityananda. The next morning, Murari first offered obeisances to Nityananda and then to Gaur. Seeing this, the Lord was pleased, and he gave Murari the remnants of his chewed betel. By accepting those remnants, Murari's intelligence was purified, and he received love of God. Once, in the mood of the Supreme Controller, the Lord spoke in anger to Murari Gupta about the impersonalist Prakashananda of Kashi. Thereafter, the Lord glorified the eternal truth regarding his names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. The Lord blessed Murari, who thereafter offered rice with ghee to the Lord. The next morning, the Lord came to Murari for treating the symptoms of indigestion that he had exhibited due to eating heavy foods. Thereafter, the Lord exhibited his pastime of being cured by drinking water from Murari's water pot. On another day, when the Lord manifested his four-armed form in the house of Srivas, Murari took the role of Garuda and carried the Lord on his shoulders. Considering that separation from the Lord after his disappearance would be unbearable, Murari decided to give up his body while the Lord was still present. The Lord, who is the super soul of everyone, checked Murari from carrying out this plan. These and other pastimes are described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 20. The pastimes of Murari and other devotees chanting at night with the Lord through the streets of Navadvip, and Murari and other devotees crying in happiness on seeing the Lord drink water at the house of Sridhar, is found in Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 23. What about the story of maybe it will come up. No, I don't think it is going to come up. There's anyhow, the story that's most stands out of Murari Gupta to me is the story of when Mahaprabhu tried to get Murari to worship Radha Krishna, and he was unable to do that, and so then he was going to give up his life because he couldn't give up Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, but he also couldn't disobey the order of the Lord. So he thought, what can I do? I have to give up my life. And then, right? That's like a very, but I don't think that one came up. See how many pastimes there are with Murari Gupta though. My God. Murari accompanied the devotees every year to visit the Lord in Puri. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 1186, 1616, as well as Antya 10.9, 121 and 140, and 1213. One day, on the order of the Lord, Murari Gupta recited 8 verses in glorification of Lord Ramachandra, the Ramachandrashtakam. We translated that. I think I should put that in the songbook. I'm going to put that in the songbook. I haven't added that yet. I have to finish the songbook before Kartik time. The Lord then blessed Murari Gupta. after he recited those 8, the Ramachandrashtakam. That's Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya Lila, chapter 4. Murari sporting in the waters of Narendra Sarovar is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 9. Murari's humble prayers and his receiving the mercy of the Lord are described in the Caitanya Charitamrita Adi 17, verses 77 to 78, and Madhya, chapter 11, verses 152 to 158. Seeing Murari's attachment for Lord Ramachandra, he is awarded the name Ramdas. This is found in Caitanya Charitamrita Adi, chapter 17, verse 69, and Madhya, chapter 15, verse 219. Murari's meeting with the Lord's South India traveling companion, Kala Krishnadas, when he visits Navadip, is found in the Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya 1081. His chanting during the Ratha Yatra festival is described in Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya 1340. His meeting with Sanatana Goswami is mentioned in Caitanya Charitamrita Antya 4108 and 747. Murari's meeting with Jagannātha is described in Caitanya Charitamrita Antya 1298. Yeah, so Murari Gupta is a very prominent associate of the Lord, like super prominent. I remember that because I listened to the Caitanya-bhāgavata audiobook on double speed really quickly, and it really stood out to me how much there is about Murari Gupta. He's very, and also, all these things that we were reading about Murari Gupta, all these references, this is all done before there was any such thing as Vedabis. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he was able to find all throughout the entire massive Chaitanya Bhagavata, every single part about Murari Gupta. That's pretty amazing. Okay. 39. Wait, so let's see what we read about Murari Gupta, the verse. Shri Murari Gupta, Shri Kamalakanta, Shri Krishnananda were some of the prominent classmates of the Lord. Okay. Sabare chaloye prabhu phanki jigyasiya shishu gyane keho kichu na bole hasiya. The Lord challenged and defeated them all, even the elder boys, but they would consider the Lord just a child and simply smile at him. E mato pratidin poriya shuniya Ganga snane chole nija vayasya loya. After school, the Lord regularly went with his friends to bathe in the Ganges. Paruvar antanahi navadipa pure poriya madhyane sabe Ganga snana kore. In Navadip, there were innumerable students, and they all took bath in the Ganga at midday. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the time of the Lord, there were many schools in Navadip, wherein innumerable students from various provinces studied the scriptures. The area of Navadip at that time stretched northeast up to Dvipa Chandrapur. I've never heard of Dvipa Chandrapur before. Nice. Verse 42. Eko adhyapaker sahasra shishyagan anyonye kalaho koren anukhan. Each teacher had thousands of students, and they would regularly challenge the students of other teachers. So there's competition among the teachers who had the best students. 43. Pratama vayasa prabhu sabhava chanchal parua ganer saha koren kondal. As the Lord was young and restless, he would also quarrel with the other students. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word pratama vayas means in childhood or in boyhood. In the first years, right? Keho bole tor guru kon buddhi tar keho bole ei dekho ami shishya jar. Someone would challenge, "Your teacher is not very learned." Another would say, "See whose disciple I am." I think that's cool that they would fight about their teachers. They were all proud who their teacher was. It's not like that anymore, I don't think. E mata olpe olpe hoy gala gali tobe jol fela feli tobe de bali. In this way, they began to quarrel with harsh words, and soon they would splash water and throw sand at each other. Boys will be boys. Tobe hoy mara mari je jahare pare kordama felia karo gaye ke homo mare. Eventually, they would beat each other or throw mud at each other. Dang. Rajar dohai diya ke ho kare dhore Maria polai ke ho gangar upare. Some boy, in the name of the king, would catch another boy, and someone would beat another and then swim across the Ganga to safety. They were rough. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words Gangar Upare refer to the present-day city of Navadip, Kulia, and the village of Ramachandrapur. Eta hura huri kore parua shakal bali kadama shab hoy Ganga jal. They wrestled so intensely that the waters of the Ganga became full of sand and mud. Jal bhori bare nahi pare narigan na pare korite snan brahmana sajan. In that situation, the girls were unable to fill their water pots, and the gentle Brahmins were unable to take their bath. Parama chanchal Prabhu Vishwambhara Rai E mata Prabhu prati ghate ghate jai. Śrī Vishwambhar was most restless, and he went to each bathing ghat. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word prati ghate refers to his own bathing ghat, Barakona ghat, Madhai's ghat, Nagariya ghat, and other ghats. Prati ghate paruvar anta nahi pai, Thakur koloh kore prati thai thai. At each ghat, there were innumerable students, and the Lord debated at every ghat. Prati ghate jai Prabhu, Gangai santari, eko ghate dui chari, danda krida kori. The Lord swam to each ghat and enjoyed debating there for 1 or 2 hours. Joto joto pramanika paruvargan, tara bole koloho koroho ki karan. The senior students asked the boys, "Why are you arguing?" Gaudiya Bhashya. The word pramanik means knowledgeable, mature, principal, or expert. So the senior students, the knowledgeable students, the mature students. In other words, the older boys. 54. Jigyasa koroho bujhi, kar kon buddhi, vritti panji tikar ke jane deki shuddhi. Let us see who can explain the proper forms of vritti, panji, and tika. Oh, I remember asking, Vaijantimala asked Sundar Gopal, what's the difference between a vritti, a tika, and what's the other one? Anyway, he explained them all though, but let's see what it says here. Gaudiya Bhashya. Vritti is the brief explanation. Oh, Kishor's there. I didn't even realize you were there. Haribol, Kishore.
Haribol.
Were you about to say something?
I was saying that maybe it was Bhashya, Tika, and Vritti.
Oh, maybe Bhashya. Yeah, it's possible. It's Bhashya. I might be able to find it. She took notes when he was speaking. And I said, I'll see. Vritti is the brief explanation of a verse. Tika is the expanded explanation of a verse. And Panji is a poetic description of a subject. Previously, Kayasthas used to write Panji. On the Kalapa grammar composed by Sarvavarma, there is a Tika written by Susen Vidyabhushan, a Panji written by Trilochan Das, and a Vritti written by Durga Singha that are all very famous. Gangadas Pandit taught Kalapa grammar to his students headed by Nimāi. The word Shuddhi means the pure form, the real truth, the purport, and the confidential truth. Actually, I could find what Sundar said on that in like 1 second. Not 1 second, but like in a couple seconds. Let's see. It is. I think I stored it in Evernote. Okay. Let's just see right here. It's nice to be clear on different definitions. Okay. So wait, let me look at my notebooks. Sanskrit terms there. There. Not this. Anyhow. Never mind, sorry guys for wasting your time. Should be here. Whatever. Okay. Prabhu bole bhalo bhalo ek kata hoy jigyasuk amare jahar chitte loy. The Lord replied, "Yes, good. You can ask me anything you like." Keho bole etto kene koro ahankar. Prabhu bole jigyasoho je chitte tomar. I like how he didn't even answer the question. One student asked him, "Why are you so conceited?" And Nimāi replied, "Ask me whatever you like." Dhatu sutra vakanoho bole she padua. Prabhu bole bakani je shuno manadiya. The same student then said, "Explain the sutras on the verbal roots." On Dhatu Sutra. The Lord replied, "Listen attentively to what I say. Sarva Shakti Samanbita Prabhu Bhagavan Korilen Sutra Vyakhya Jai Hoy Praman." The all-powerful Supreme Lord Vishwambar then explained the sutras according to the prescribed grammatical rules. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word praman means perfect evidence or faith. Vakya shuni sobe bole prashangsa bachan. Prabhu bole ebe shuno kori je khandan. Hearing his explanation, everyone praised him. The Lord then said, "Now hear me refute these explanations." Joto vyakya koila taha dushila shakal. Prabhu bole sthapo ebe karo ache bol. After the Lord refuted each of his explanations, he then asked, "Now who can re-establish these explanations?" Chamatkar shabe bhaben mane mane. Prabhu bole shuno ebe koriye sthapane. Everyone there was struck with wonder as Nimāi said, "Now hear me re-establish those explanations." Punaheno vakya korilen gora chandra sarmate sundar kotao nahi manda. Sri Gaurachandra then again established those explanations in such a wonderful way that no one could find any fault. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word manda means fault, excuse, or error. Joto sab pramanika paruvargan santoshe sabe korilen alingan. All the senior students then embraced Nimāi in satisfaction. Paruva shakal bole aji ghare jaho. Kali je jigyasi taha boli bare chaho. The other students said, Today you can go home, and tomorrow we will have more questions for you. E mata pratidin jana vir jale, Vaikunta nayaka vidya rase khela khele. In this way, the Lord of Vaikunta enjoyed his pastimes as a student, playing in the water of the Ganga. E krida lagia sarvagya brihaspati, shishya saha navadipe hoila utpatti. To assist in his pastimes, the omniscient Brihaspati took birth in Navadip along with his disciples. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Sarvagya is another name for the original Vishnu Swami. He appeared at Chandanavan, Kalyanapur, in the province of Pandya. He is the first Vaishnavacharya in this age of Kali. He defeated the philosophy of Buddhism and brought Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata to Sundarachal. Wow. Okay, so he did Rath Yatra. Okay. 300 years before Christ, a king named Vijay Pandya appeared. After he conquered Sri Purushottam and brought Lord Jagannath to his own province, the Buddhists returned Lord Jagannath to Nilachal. A few hundred years later, during the reign of Sundar Pandya, he was reminded of the place where Lord Jagannath was brought while going to conquer the northern provinces. That place, known as Sundarachal, later became known as Gundicha. Shortly before this incident, a disciple of Shankaracharya named Padmapadacharya built a mutt at the place known as Chhatrabhog. Later on, this mutt was shifted to the shore of the ocean by Sri Ramanujacharya. I'm guessing it's a different Chhatrabhog than the one that Mahaprabhu went to, because that's a part of Tirthamaraja's Bengal Prachar field. I went there a few times, but I think it's a different Chhatrabhog. There's a book named Sangshep Shariraka in the Shankar Sampradaya that is said to be written by Sarvagatma Muni. But this Sarvagatma Muni cannot be the Sarvagya Muni who established the philosophy of Shuddhadvaita. There is another Sarvagya in the Jain Sampradaya as well. In the disciplic succession of Sarvagya Muni, there were many disciples, including Brihaspati. Interesting. Brihaspati was in the disciplic succession of Sarvagya Muni. Wait, who is... Oh, wait, no. Gangadas Pandit is Sandipani Muni, right? Not Brihaspati. I wonder who Brihaspati is in Mahaprabhu's Leela. So, do you know, Kishore?
Mataji wants to say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just
Yes.
have a question. So Jagannath was kidnapped by Buddhists? Is that what
I know. That was pretty shocking.
I know.
But one thing, it says that they brought him to Sundarachal, right? Oh, wait, let's just see again. No, they returned him to Nilachal. Yeah, so it seems like they didn't bring him that far away.
All I know regarding this is that at one point the Buddhists took over the Jagannath temple, and they preached that Lord Jagannath was Buddha. And even today in Jagannath Puri, they have this. There's still some Buddhist conception around Lord Jagannath, and they say that inside of Lord Jagannath, the Brahmapadatra that is taken out of Lord Jagannath during a Navakalibar, some say that it was the heart of Krishna, which is not true. That's a speculation. Others say that it's actually the tooth of Buddha Dev, which, if you ask me, is also speculation. But anyhow, the Buddhists took over the Jagannath temple at one point, and Sri Vishnu Swami, Adi Vishnu Swami, defeated the Buddhists to kick them out and reestablish the worship of Jagannath as Vishnu Narayan, I believe. Yeah. And
Wow.
That's the origin of Rath Yatra, actually. Well, not the original origin of Rath Yatra, but the historical article. That's considered the beginning of Rath Yatra in the modern day. The kicking out of the Buddhist and bringing Jagannath back to the temple.
Wow, that's very interesting. Huh.
It's written somewhere in a book. Saraswati Prabhupada just talked about it here. You'll have to look into the history of Vishnu Swami here. Yes, Mataji?
And they also took him to a battle. It says they took him while going to conquer the northern provinces. They just hey, you need to come with us.
That I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. But in Bhakti-san Saraswati Prabhupada's book, the Four Vaishnavacharyas, you can probably find the proper history in detail about Vishnu Swami. Oh, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's Brihaspati.
Okay, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Okay. Great. Wow, thanks for that, Kishore. That was very interesting. Okay, verse 67. Jal krida kore Prabhu Shishyagan Shange Khone khone Gangar upare jai range. While sporting in the Ganga, the Lord and his friends would sometimes swim to the other side. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words Gangar upare refers to Kulia, or the present-day city of Navadvip. 68. Bahu manoratha purbe achilo Gangar Yamunar dekhi Krishna chander vihar. Seeing the good fortune of the Yamuna in obtaining the association of Lord Krishna, the Ganga had cherished the desire for the same opportunity. Kabe hoibe kamor Yamunar bhagya Niravadi Ganga e bolilen bhakya. The Ganga constantly prayed, "When will I be fortunate like Yamuna?" Yadyapi ho Ganga aj bhavadi bandita tatapi ho Yamunar porose vanchita. Although the Ganga is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, she nevertheless still desires the good fortune of the Yamuna. Vancha kalpataru Prabhu Shri Gaur Sundar Janavir Vancha Purna Kore Nirantar. Lord Gaur Sundar is like a wish-fulfilling tree that constantly satisfied the desires of the Ganga. Kori bahu vida krida janavir jale grihe ailen gora chandra kutuhale. After enjoying various pastimes in the waters of the Ganga, Shri Gaurachandra joyfully returned home. Jathavidi kori Prabhu Shri Vishnu pujan tulasire jal diya koren bhojan. The Lord then worshipped Vishnu according to the rules, and after watering Tulsi, he took his meal. That's nice. So before Mahaprabhu would take his meal, he would water Tulsi. First, make sure Tulsi is nourished with water before he nourishes himself. Bhojan koriya matra prabhu se khane pustaka loiya giya bosen nirjane. Immediately after taking his meal, the Lord took his books and sat in a solitary place. Apane koren Prabhu sutrer tipani bhulila pustaka rase sarvadeva mani. The Lord, who is the crest jewel amongst the demigods, fully absorbed himself in his studies and composed his own commentary on the sutras. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words sutrer tipani refers to the commentary on the commentary of Ka-tantra Sutra, composed by Sarva Varma. The phrase Sarva Deva Mani means the Lord of Lords. 76. Dekhiya anande bhase Miśra mahashay ratri dine harishe kichui na janai. Seeing his son studying attentively, Jagannātha Miśra floated in an ocean of happiness and forgot whether it was day or night. Dekhite dekhite Jagannātha putra mukh, niti niti pai anirvachaniya sukh. Every day, Jagannātha Miśra felt indescribable happiness on seeing the face of his son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word niti niti means regularly or daily. Jaimote putre rup kore Miśra pan, shasharire sayuja hoilo ki batan. Śrī Miśra drank the nectarian beauty of his son's form in such a way that it appeared that he merged in it. He drank the nectarian beauty of his son's form in such a way that it appeared he had merged his body with the Lord. Let's see the Gaudiya Bhashya for this one. The words Shashire Sayuja are explained as follows. When a conditioned soul is freed from the gross and subtle bodies or designations, he attains the liberation of Brahma Sayuja, or merging with Brahma. Or, in other words, he becomes dormant. This is the conclusion of the impersonalists. But Jagannātha Miśra is non-different from Vasudeva, the shelter of Vatsalya Ras in the transcendental realm of Goloka, beyond the material creation. He was so absorbed in seeing the beautiful form of Gaur, the personality of Godhead, as his son, that he continually remained merged in an ocean of bliss. Ordinary people did not consider him as Vasudeva, the personification of pure goodness. They considered him a conditioned soul, fit for Sayuja Mukti like themselves. In fact, they considered Jagannātha Miśra had already attained Sayuja Mukti, the state of becoming dormant, in his present gross and subtle bodies. But according to Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, chapter 6, verse 268, it says, a pure devotee does not like to even hear about Sayuja Mukti, which inspires him with fear and hatred. Indeed, the pure devotee would rather go to hell than to merge into the effulgence of the Lord. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya, chapter 9, verse 267, it says, pure devotees reject the 5 kinds of liberation. Indeed, for them, liberation is very insignificant, because they see it as hellish. In this regard, one should refer to the descriptions of the pure devotional service performed by Rishabh Dev's son, Bharat, as narrated by Sri Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.14.44. Descriptions of Sayuja Mukti are found in the Madhva Sampradaya's philosophy of Shuddha Dvaita. Unless there is a reciprocation between the worshipable Supreme Lord and his servants, the mood of worshipper and worshipable cannot exist. Therefore, Sayuja Mukti referred to herein is the attainment of the lotus feet of Vishnu. It certainly does not refer to becoming one with the Lord or merging with Brahman. Do you mind if I just take 1 second to look at something? I just wrote a message to Shanti Didi, like one of our GVP Sevaks, that it should be Madhva Sampradaya with a long A, not Madhva Sampradaya, but here I see it with a short A. I just want to see in the Bengali if it has a long A. And I'll forget to do it afterwards. Actually, I could write it down. Maybe I should just do that. Okay, I'll do that. Sorry, guys. I have it open right here. Let's just look at it really quick. Sorry. Okay. What verse are we on? 78. Okay. Here we are. 78. Uh-oh. It says Madhva Sampradaya here. Uh-oh. Okay. Might have to fix that in Navadip Mahatma. Okay. Verse 79. Sayuja vakon opadi shukatane Sayujyadi Sukha Miśra Alpakori Mane. Jagannātha Miśra, however, considered the happiness of merging with the Lord to be most insignificant. Wait, so let's see the previous verse. It says, Miśra drank the nectarian beauty of his son's form in such a way that it appeared he had merged his body with the Lord, but no, he didn't actually appear, he didn't merge with the Lord. Jagannātha Miśra considered the happiness of merging with the Lord to be most insignificant. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word kon means for what use? The word tane means to him or for him. The words opadi sukh refer to the happiness derived through one's gross and subtle bodies from one's temporary sense gratification and desire for liberation. This is nothing like the happiness experienced by the Atmaramas, our self-satisfied souls, from their unalloyed service to Gaur Krishna. The word alpa means tiny, insignificant, or pseudo. It is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 644 and 785, and also verses 97 and 98. This is Adi chapter 6 and 7. The conception of servitude to Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it. For a devotee who has actually developed bhav, the pleasure derived from dharma, artha, kama, and moksha appears like a drop in the presence of a sea. Compared to the ocean of transcendental bliss that is tasted by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the pleasure derived from the impersonal Brahman realization, Brahmananda, is like the shallow water in a canal. My dear Lord, O Master of the universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness to be like the water contained in the fin of a calf. What is it? We went through this word. I think it's goshpad, right? Goshpad is the water. In the chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describing the glories of pure devotional service, it is stated, Manag eva prarudayam hridaye bhagavad rato purusharthas tuchatvaras trinayante samantata. Any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. This is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Brahmananda bhaved esha chit parardha guni krita naiti bhakti sukham bodhe paramanu tulam api. If Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied 100 trillion times, that's a pretty big number, 100 trillion, it would still not equal even an atomic fragment of the ocean of transcendental bliss felt in devotional service. Sridhar Swami has written in his Bhavartha Dipika as follows. Virtuous people who joyfully relish recitation of your sweet pastimes consider the four goals of human life to be insignificant. The mind absorbed in bhakti, without desire for insignificant things, brings people to life with prem. Beautiful. Those devotees who are absorbed only in service to the lotus feet of Krishna have no desire for liberation. One may also refer to the following verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh man, that's a lot of references. Should I read them all? I'm just going to say the canto and chapter. Canto 3, chapter 4, Canto 3, chapter 25, Canto 3, Canto 4, chapter 9, Canto 4, chapter 20, Canto 5, chapter 14, Canto 6, chapter 11, Canto 6, chapter 17, Canto 7, chapter 6, Canto 7, chapter 8, Canto 8, chapter 3, Canto 9, chapter 21, Canto 10, chapter 16, Canto 11, chapter 14, Canto 11, chapter 20. If you want to check out any of these verses, you can see the verse numbers there as well. Jagannātha Miśra Pai Bahu Namaskar Ananta Brahmanda Nath Putra Rupe Jar. I offer unlimited obeisances at the feet of Śrī Jagannātha Miśra, whose son was the Lord of innumerable universes. 81. E mata Miśra Chandra dekite putrere, niravadi bhase vipra ananda sagare. In this way, whenever he saw his son, Śrī Miśra Chandra would float in an ocean of bliss. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Miśra Chandra is the family surname with Chandra added out of affection. 82. Kamadev Jiniya Prabhu She Rupavan Prati Ange Ange She Lavanya Anupam. The beauty of the Lord surpassed that of Cupid. Each of his limbs was extraordinarily beautiful. I like that word, Lavanya. Iha dekhi Miśra Chandra Chinten Antare Dakini Danave Pache Putre Bal Kore. Seeing the beauty of his son, Jagannātha Miśra thought, I am afraid that my son may be attacked by ghosts or demons. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Dakini refers to a female follower of Rudra, or a follower of Bhadrakali, a witch or a sorceress. The word Dana refers to the sons of Danu, the wife of Kashyapa Muni and the daughter of Prajapati Daksha. The words Bal Kore mean to overpower or to influence. Bhoy Miśra Putre Samarpaye Krishna Sthane Hase Prabhu Gaura Chandra Ade Taki Shune. Out of fear, Śrī Miśra surrendered his son at the lotus feet of Krishna, as Gaura Chandra smiled while watching from a secluded place. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Ade is a corruption of the word Antarale, which means from behind. Miśra bole Krishna tumi rakita sabar putra prati shubha drishti koriba amar. Jagannātha Miśra prayed, O Krishna, you are the protector of all. Please glance mercifully on my son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Rakita means the protector or the deliverer. Je tomar charana kamala smriti kore, kabu vigna na aise tahan mandire. Tomar smaranahin je papasthan, tathair dakini bhuta preta adhishtan. Jagannātha Miśra prayed to Krishna, whoever remembers your lotus feet will never face any disturbances at home. Those sinful places where you are not remembered are the residences of ghosts, witches, and evil spirits. Gaudiya Bhashya. Places where forgetfulness of Vishnu is prominent are known as sinful places. Such places are inhabited by abominable species like ghosts, witches, and evil spirits. The devotees of the Lord are demigods. Because the devotees always remember the Lord wherever they reside, wherever they reside is known as a sacred place. This is stated in the Śrīmad-bhāgavatam 10:2-33. No. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Tata nate madhava tavaka. No, say. Tata nate madhava tavaka kvachir prashyanti margat tvaya baddha sohrida tvaya bhigupta vicharanti nirbhaya vinayakan kani kapamurdasu prabhu. I want to fix this now, but I'll do it later because I don't want to waste time. O Madhav, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of the Goddess of Fortune, if devotees completely in love with you sometimes fall from the path of devotion, they do not fall like non-devotees, for you still protect them. Thus, they fearlessly traverse the heads of opponents and continue to progress in devotional service. And in the Śrīmad-bhāgavatam 11:4-10, it said, Tvam sevatang surakrita bhavontaraya swauko vilangya paramam vrajantam padang te nanyasya barhishi ballin tadatta svabhagan dhatte padam tamavita yadi vignamurdhini. The demigods place many obstacles on the path of those who worship you to transcend the temporary abodes of demigods and reach your supreme abode. Those who offer the demigods their assigned shares in sacrificial performances encounter no such obstacles. But because you are the direct protector of your devotee, he is able to step over the head of whatever obstacle the demigods place before him. Also, in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:22-37, it says, Sharira manasa devya vayase ye cha manusha bhautikascha katam klesha bhadhante harisankshayam. Therefore, O Vidura, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, nature, and other men and living creatures? In the Garuda Purana it is stated, Nacha durvasasa shapo vajram chapi shachipate hantum samartam purusham hridiste madhusudane. One who has realized Madhusudan within his heart cannot be killed by the curse of Durvasa or by the thunderbolt of Indra, the husband of Shachi. And in the Naradiya Purana it is stated, Yatra puja paro vishnus tatra vigno nabhadate rajata cha taskaraschapi vyadhayascha nasantihi preta pishacha kushmanda graha bala grahaschatata dakinyo rakshasachaiva nabhadaste chutarchakam. I think this is going to say that the astrology doesn't affect people, the planets doesn't affect somebody if they're surrendered. Let's see. Neither a king, a thief, nor disease can create obstacles for one engaged in worshipping Lord Vishnu. A person engaged in the worship of Achyuta cannot be checked by ghosts, witches, evil spirits, the planets, sorceresses, or other demons. One may also refer to Bhakti Sandarbha 122 in this regard. See, one cannot be checked by planets either. That means your astrology, if you're completely surrendered, it means. If you're completely engaged in worshipping Vishnu. And there's actually something interesting. My dad, when he was going through his worst astrological period, he was in his Rahu period. But he was upujari in the temple and he was fully engaged 24/7. And he said that was like one of the best times of his life. And it was like the most auspicious, wonderful, happy times of his life. And then as soon as he left that service of being a pujari and like left the temple, he got hit hard. So, yeah. Our astrology affects us to the extent that we're not fully under Krishna's control, like fully surrendered. Nayatra shravanadini rakshognani sakarmasu kurvanti sattvatam bhartur yattu dhanyascha tatrahi. My dear king, wherever people in any position perform their occupational duties of devotional service by chanting and hearing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, there cannot be any danger from bad elements. Therefore, there is no need for anxiety about Gokul while the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present. I'm guessing this is a Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam verse. Gaudiya Bhashya. When Maharaj Parikshit heard that the fearful child killer Putana wandered through various villages killing children on the order of Kamsa, he was full of anxiety for Krishna. At that time, Shukadeva Goswami spoke this verse in order to relieve the king's anxiety. This verse was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to the apprehensive Parikshit Maharaj to confirm that since Putana was engaged in sinful activities, she would certainly die. Places where the hearing and chanting of Krishna's names are not present are full of demoniac influence. But wherever the Lord is present, there is no question of fear. So all that is from Sridhar Swami's commentary on that verse. And now what we're going to read is from Srila Jiva Goswami's Laghu Toshani, what we're reading now. After hearing that Putana was roaming about killing children, one may fearfully inquire, alas, What was the position of the other baby boys in Sri Nanda's village? All those little boys that she was killing. Sri Shukadev spoke this verse in answer to this question. Wait, I'm guessing that it's saying that. Whatever. What was the position of the other baby boys in Sri Nanda's village? Yeah, okay. So Shukadev's answer to this question is, if one indirect... Oh, sorry, this verse is an answer to that question. If one indirectly hears or chants the names of Krishna in the course of performing one's occupational duties like sacrifices, then one can never be exploited by demonesses. And if one directly hears and chants the names of Krishna, then there's no question of any influence from them. The word Sattvata, or the Lord of the devotees, confirms that what to speak of hearing and chanting the Lord's names, even hearing and chanting the names of his devotees destroys all demoniac influences. The demons exhibits their influence only in places where the Lord's names are not heard or chanted. The meaning of this verse can also be as follows. One may raise the doubt, were all the children of that time killed by Putana or not? Sri Shukadev Goswami spoke this verse in answer to this question. The above purport is applicable here. Other than the baby boys who heard and chanted the Krishna's names, the Lord had Putana kill all those who were averse to him and belonging to Kamsa's party. The foolishness of Kamsa is displayed in this incident. In spite of the Lord's personal presence, the arrival of wicked Putana in Vraj and her disturbance there were only to nourish the pastimes of the Lord, which give pleasure to the entire world, and increase the love and affection of the Vrajvasis headed by Yashoda. These incidents are all arranged by the Lord's Lila Shakti, or pleasure potencies. The word Lila Shakti here refers to one of the three principal energies in Vaikuntha and Vrindadevi in Vrindavan. So that's Jiva Goswami's Laghu Toshini, and now we're going to read from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarata Darshini. This verse was spoken by Sri Shukadev to the anxious Maharaj Parikshit to confirm that since Putana was engaged in sinful activities, she would certainly die. Villages and cities where persons are engaged in fruitive activities that are fructified or unfructified, prarabdha or aparabdha, and are devoid of hearing or chanting the names of Krishna, who is the Lord of the devotees, are influenced by demonesses. Such demonesses cannot disturb a place where hearing and chanting about Krishna is the main activity, and where hearing and chanting about Krishna is the only activity. And where hearing and chanting about Krishna is the only activity, it is impossible for them to create any mischief. What then can be said about the place where the Lord is personally present? Oh, Haribol Satya Mataji.
So he's only mentioning...
You raised your hand?
Yes. He's only mentioning female demons. I know it's in reference to Putana, but he's not mentioning male demons.
Yeah, I mean, what you just said, I think maybe it's just because this is about Putana killing the baby boys. Like Parikshit Maharaj is worried about Krishna, and so maybe just because of the context of, since this is all in the context of Putana, I'm guessing.
Wasn't in the above verse?
That's just my guess.
Wasn't the above
Huh?
Wasn't the above verse talking about demons, evil spirits, and ghosts? So I think all evil spirits come under that category.
Maybe.
There was a verse in female demons.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know very clearly the answer to that question, but that's just my guess. Okay. Oh, it's 8:32. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna finish this up, and we can stop for today. Okay, so such demonesses cannot disturb a place where hearing... did I just read this? Yeah. What then can be said about the place where the Lord is personally present? Yes, demonesses cannot disturb a place where hearing and chanting about Krishna is the main activity, and where hearing and chanting about Krishna is the only activity. It is impossible for them to create any mischief. So then what can be said to be where the Lord is personally present? That's from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarata Darshini. Wait, let me just read these two verses because that's the end of Jagannātha Miśra's prayers. 89. Ami tor das prabhu jotika amar rakhiba apane tumi shakala tomar. O my Lord, I am your servant. Everything I possess belongs to you, so please preserve it. Ataeva jota ache vignava sankata na asuka kabu mor putrer nikata. Therefore, do not allow any obstacle or danger to disturb my son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word sankat means misery or trouble. Again, we'll end with this verse here. E mata niravadi Mishra Jagannath ekachitte var mage tuli dui hat. In this way, with folded hands and fixed concentration, Jagannātha Miśra constantly begged for the Lord's mercy. Alright, so tomorrow we will read about, from 92, about this dream that Jagannātha Miśra had. And this is a very sad part of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Yes. When he has this dream, and then due to this dream, he leaves his body soon after, I think. I have to, that's what I remember at least. Okay. So, do Mahamantra, Jaidvani, and then if there's anything anybody wants to discuss, we can do that. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Dev ki Jai, Shri Param Guru Dev ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Sapashadji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol. I'm just seeing everybody who's there. Oh, Indira Mataji was there. Okay. And Raseshwari Mataji. Okay, you both were there. Great. And Sudevi Didi. And then here on Zoom, we have Nri Hari Prabhu, Satya Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, and Yashoda Didi. Hare Krishna, everybody. So, anything anybody wants to discuss before we end today's session? If anybody needs to leave also, you're free to go, of course.
Sachin, go ahead.
So there were those three things. There was Tika, Vritti, and what was the third one?
It was, oh God.
Panjika.
Okay, Panjika, yeah.
Because here in my notes, I also have Digdarshani.
Oh, Digdarshani. Digdarshani is an overview. That's like a, yeah.
General thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I wanna get more clear on what the difference between those, because we see that word come up all the time, vritti and tika. Yeah. Kishore Prabhu, you're about to say something?
Oh, I was just reminded of in the beginning we were reading about the summary of Nimāi getting his Brahman thread. And I was reminded of Krishna when Krishna was getting his Kshatriya thread. Because Brahmins get their Brahman threads, Kshatriyas get their Kshatriya threads, and Vaishyas get their Vaishya threads. And the Brahman threads are made out of cotton, the Kshatriyas out of hemp, I think, and the
Really?
Vaishyas out of silk.
Wait, what is the Vaishyas made out of?
Silk.
Silk. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah,
And do they all have their own mantras that they chant on it?
Yeah,
or?
they all have their own different mantras.
Huh. That is so interesting. I've never heard that.
The Brahmins, we have our Om, Bhut, etc.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Kshatriyas chant though. It's written somewhere here, but I don't know what they chant. Kshatriyas and
That's
Vaishyas.
also very interesting that their threads are made out of hemp. That's cool. I didn't. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, the Shudras don't get any.
Oh.
One thing.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
No,
Hari Prabhu. What?
the first time I hear, and we hear how Brahmins will break their thread to curse someone. And so hemp was pretty tough. So Kshatriyas, I don't know if Kshatriyas curse anybody. But yeah, that was so interesting.
But the Kshatriyas, they're pretty strong.
They're pretty strong.
They can break anything.
Yeah.
Why do I need to curse someone when I can just chop their head off?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, I was
Silk's
reminded.
pretty strong. I don't know.
Silk?
What were we gonna say?
Is silk strong? Really?
Maybe not actually. And cotton is not strong at all. But still, actually, it's difficult to break a Brahmin thread. But what were you gonna say?
Well, I think there was one devotee that said how different Brahmins, they'll carry different number of strings. And some will carry 3, some will carry 6, we carry 9. Some said, one devotee said, I think it was my brother. Actually, it was my brother. He said, yeah, we tried to curse someone, we'll break our we have 9 strings, so we'll break our thumb before we get to curse someone.
It's a prevention thing, huh?
Yeah, I remember Padmanabh Maharaj and told this story that Gurudev told once. That Mother Yashoda, she was telling Krishna, "Oh my Lala, when you grow, right now you don't have your thread head ceremony. It's not done. But when your thread head ceremony is done, I will give you lots of wonderful sweets and so many nice things." And Krishna was looking forward to that day. But when his thread ceremony was to take place, Krishna wasn't in Vrindavan anymore. He was in Mathura. And on all the Mathura Vasis and all those in the Yadu Vamsha and the Yadu dynasty, they're thinking, okay, Krishna, he has this mentality of cowherd boys and all these things. But after he gets his mantra, after he gets his Brahman thread, then he'll change. Then he'll get into the real Kshatriya spirit. And then Krishna, after getting the Brahman thread, and he was going out to beg alms, to beg for bhiksha. But then he remembered his mother Yashoda, and he was thinking, oh, my mother told me that she was going to give me so many nice things. And you know how you're supposed to go to your mother first. And Krishna was looking everywhere around, and he started yelling, Maya, Maya, Maya. And Krishna fell unconscious.
Krishna Lila is really sad. Many parts of it, that's really heartbreaking. Yeah. Beautiful Lila though. Yeah, Krishna's his attachment for Yashoda is no comparison. Yeah.
Very sweet. Oh. And also Krishna's killing a Putana. No, just hearing all this is just reminding me of how Putana was coming, how Putana came and she disguised herself as a heavenly maiden, like an Apsara, like that. And then she was thinking, oh, I will come and I will kill this boy. Right? And then she was coming in, and Rohini and Yashoda, seeing how beautiful she was, they let her in. And when Putana came in and Krishna saw her, Krishna closed his eyes. And there's various reasons why Krishna closes his eyes. Prabhupada has explained some of them, that one, that he closed his eyes because he didn't want to see Putana because she killed so many demons. No, forgive me, it was because she killed so many babies. Another reason, because Putana came in the form of a woman, and it's sinful to kill a woman, especially she came in the form of
Oh, so he was about to do something very inauspicious. He's about to kill a woman, and so then he's like,
so he closed his eyes. And I think there was another reason. I forget what it was though. Anyhow.
When I was in Jagannath Puri, Vangsi Badan Prabhu, who's now Badan Maharaj, he gave, I think it was like a week. I think he did, maybe it was like a saptaha, yeah, for just this killing of Putana. Because there's so many commentaries and it gets so deep into all of these different things. Yeah, it was like, might have been longer than a week. It was a very long time, and it was just that one story, that one pastime.
Does Bhakti Vedanta Maharaj speak English?
Yeah, he speaks. I mean, not very good English, but yeah. Those classes were in Hindi, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like to listen to one of his classes one day.
Yeah, he's an amazing speaker. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He speaks Sanskrit fluently, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knows Sanskrit. He used to teach Sanskrit, and he was part of this group called the Charan Goshti, which is like a group in Orissa. They travel around different parts of Orissa and speak the glories of Jagannath. And he was part of that group. And so he was used to speaking in front of like crowds of thousands of people from when he was just a teenager, like when he was like 14 or something like that. He has lots of practice at speaking to crowds of people. He knows how to connect with the audience and make it interesting and make it really clear and like organized. And like he's just like, he's very, very expert orator like that.
Nice. Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, I'd love to hear a class from him one day. And yeah, Krishna closed his eyes because he didn't want to see Putana. And so Putana got the baby Krishna and took him outside, and he's like, I will kill this child. I will kill him by giving him poison milk. And when Krishna she got Krishna, she uncovered herself, and Krishna grabbed her nipple and started sucking out of anger. You know, Gurudev has said something very interesting though, that Srila Gurudev said that Putana was going to give Krishna milk, but really there was no milk there. And Gurudev said, why? Because Putana was not a mother. There was no actual milk in the breast because Putana wasn't a mother. And so Krishna was just basically sucking there. She put some poison on the nipple when Krishna began sucking. But then Krishna was sucking, and Krishna began to suck her life out. And Putana said, child, leave me. And Putana assumed her real form. She was in the form of a nice maiden, but then she assumed a very horrible form, that of a witch, and she became very big. And then she fell down. But she fell down, but she didn't fall down on any Brajavasi side. I remember hearing that she fell like on the Mathura side. So really, everything
she crushed Kamsa's like orchards and stuff, right?
Yeah. So she didn't crush anything in Braj. She crushed everything, like Kamsa's gardens.
Yeah.
Kamsa's orchard.
May I say something?
Yeah, and different.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Sorry, some motorcycle was going by. In this, I believe this reference, how Putana was 10,000 elephants strong, and she couldn't get Krishna detached, and so that's why she just, with all her strength, she just can no longer conceal her form, and she's trying, but Jashoda Maya, she could very easily detach Krishna from her breast, so. That was a big difference.
With one hand, right? Gurudev would say, right?
With one hand, I had to take care of the milk, because it's for him. She's doing devotional service. She's caring for her baby. So they want the milk to burn.
Yes.
Oh,
Krishna
that's
is
so
not
sweet.
overpowered by any strength of any demons, but he's completely overpowered by the prema of the devotees. Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet. I never ever heard of that comparison between Putana and Yashoda, where Yashoda could easily remove Krishna. I've never heard that comparison before. That's nice.
Yeah, it's so sweet. That's Gurudev.
I think it might be in the Dhammarashtakam book.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Prabhuji, I heard that there were fires in Hawaii recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are any devotees in like any risk in those fires?
No, it's already already happened. Most of the devotees are dear devotees, God brothers, God sisters, or nephews and nieces. They're all okay. The fires were due to the hurricane strength winds or gusts. It was and it has created a very dry atmosphere, and it was already a drought. And in Maui, that area is flat, so the winds were blowing from inside towards the sea. And I was supposed to meet Bhatrini there in Lanai, which is an island right next to Maui, and her cousin invited her to meet there and wanted us to be together, meet there in Lanai. And they took a ferry, the last ferry, the day before this happened. And so Bhatrini but actually she was first stuck there in Lanai, and I couldn't go see them from Big Island because the winds, no airline was flying. And so that kind of saved me and her. I would have been stuck in Lanai and the fires. And
Wow.
Krishna's Gurudev's grace. But
Wow.
everybody's okay. The bodies are fine. And like the fires weren't able to be contained for a long time, but the ones in Big Island they were, and they burned many acres, but also it got close to a little it's a port where everything is shipped from Big Island, one of the ports, and like that. But that fire was contained. But Maui kept on going for a while. It was very horrific. I mean, 1,000 people missing, and the fires burned all the boats, and the oils were spilling on the waters, so the waters were on fire too.
Oh my God.
People tried to run to the water, they were caught in it. Cars leaving too, they were caught. It was very horrific.
That's really.
I'll tell you
Bhavatarani Mataji is arriving today, isn't she? In Vrindavan?
It's arriving the 18th.
Oh, 18th. Okay, tomorrow.
Going to, but there was a typhoon, and the Japan Airlines called saying, "Oh, we changed your flight," and so she left today. For us, it's the 16th, and US the 17th already. So she'll be arriving tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We told Vrindavan Vilasini, I was a little worried about her arriving a little late there and the door being closed, because she arrives in Delhi at 4 p.m. But she said
we can arrange with the.
Oh, if you could, that would be very thankful.
Yes. Okay.
All
right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and see you all tomorrow to read about the disappearance of Jagannātha Miśra. Right, Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Malakarji.
Thank you, everybody.
Dandavat. Thank you.
Dandavat.
That's all.